So we have next one. It's going to be about negotiating and strategy to win-win deals. So we have Christine, Heidi, and Lisa. And Vanessa is going to be moderating.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we did get off schedule. I don't know if you looked at your little agenda, so hang on to your helmets. We're gonna catch up. Get your pens ready or just start recording, whichever is convenient, because these ladies pack a few punches, and so get ready to get hit a couple of times, okay? So they're not in the order that they're sitting. They wanted to spice it up for you, so good luck keeping everybody straight. So we have first, I wanna talk to Heidi just real quick, and before we jump in, Heidi, tell them what area you service and what your team has been up to.
I am Heidi Joy, and I am from the great sunshine state of Florida, Clearwater, Tampa, and St. Pete. And I know all you Jersey people are sending people my way, so make sure that you have my contact information before you leave this building.
That's
Shameless
awesome.
plug.
That's awesome. Okay, Christy, tell us what area you service and what your team's been up to.
Christine Ricci, I service the Westchester County area right over the bridge. It's still the Tappan Zee Bridge to me, not the Mario Como. So just making that clear. I have a team of 10, and we service the Westchester County, Putnam Dutchess, and Fairfield County, Connecticut.
Thank you. Miss Lisa.
I am from,
Yeah, you're good. Keep talking.
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. And if any of you have anybody coming to Scottsdale, spring training, want to get in the sun and some heat, come down and see us. I have a team of 4 that kind of fluctuates back and forth. And yeah, we're ready for all of you East Coasters to come our way.
Fantastic. I hope you wrote all that down. Hey, Heidi, when you think about making negotiations, how important is active listening?
Active listening?
Use your microphone for me.
Active listening. For me, honestly, it's everything. Because when I was a younger baby agent, right, like I wanted to correct you as we were going along. Like I wanted to handle objections, which we're not supposed to do, right? And now I've learned to listen and let them get it all out. And then start with the things that I heard, and I can't remember anything. So I really impress people when I'm actively listening and I'm taking notes. And then sometimes people say, what did you write down over there? And then, so I can summarize at the end because I'm not going to remember. So for me, active listening is literally everything.
Oh, that's fantastic. Take notes, pay attention, and be able to summarize what they just said. See what I did there? I was actively listening. Hey, I want to talk to Christine really quickly. What techniques have proven successful for you and your business when it comes to negotiations?
It really started what you said before earlier. For me, it's all about asking a lot of questions, setting up the expectations up front, asking questions, validating, delivering the message properly, and then listening. So setting that all up is very important. From the listing agent, the selling agent, what do you know about the sellers? Like I ask a lot of questions. I build very strong connections because it's the connections that really help the transactions move forward, not necessarily always price and everything else. So I always set the stage up and I always prepare my buyers to build a team and a team. So even before we go out and look at homes, they've already interviewed their attorneys, their home inspectors. We have everything lined up. So across the board, we know what the seller situation is. The buyers are ready to rock and roll with their team and a team. And so we position them properly to win the deal.
Fantastic. What other strategies are you using besides active listening to help create win-win situations for your clients?
Again, another one of my passion topics is I want to make you my best friend before we get started. Like legit, okay. I want to make you my best friend before we get started and do as much research on whoever I'm going to be negotiating with, agent-wise, and I do as much research as possible before I meet with a buyer or seller. And I want us to, like, if you don't like me and trust me, this is not gonna work well. And I don't ever want to be that person that when my name and picture pops up on your phone, you don't want to pick up the phone, right? I want people to be like, oh my God, it's Heidi Joy. I know this is going to be an easy deal. You know, I'm happy to work with her. Because let's face it, in all markets, there's agents out there that have reputations that you're like, ooh, I don't want to show that one.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really want to work with them again. I mean, and you don't want to be that person, right? So be friendly. Say, let's get this together as a team and work together.
For sure. Then we talked about some of their successes, but Lisa, tell me, what was the toughest negotiation conversation you've had to have?
I think a lot has to do with the buyer's expectations or the seller's expectations. I think probably one of the biggest ones were, let's come in low. But everything looks like 10%. My mother told me it was 10% lower. That's what I should offer. When you get family members involved in it, it's never good. So it's setting up, we always have buyer consultations before we take anyone out. And we set the expectations there. We show them. It's not about our opinion, and that's something that I want to reiterate. Know your numbers. Know your numbers on the areas that they want to be in. Know the commission rates that they want to be in with all the commission issues that we're having right now. That is a huge conversation for us. We set everything up front, and just when it comes down to it, they know exactly where we're going in at, what our options are, what their nets are going to be. We try to, it's like it starts in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Christine, I'm curious to know what steps you take to prepare for a negotiation conversation.
On the seller side, I mean, there's two sides if you're working both. But on the buyer side, even before we even get to negotiations at our buyer consultation, they already know the steps. We just preliminary go through them because they won't remember.
Right.
Then right before we start negotiations or they're interested in a home, we sit down again. I have all the comparables with me. I bring market analysis on every showing that I go on. I bring a listing summary so I know all of the history of the homes that I'm showing. So we're already 10 steps ahead. So right there, as we're walking out of the home and they want to make an offer, again, we already built the team because we did that when we consulted. So it's just really looking at the market stats, and we do that right there.
I love it.
So I bring everything with me. Better to have it in your back pocket than tell them, let's go back to our computer. Just have it right there.
Yeah, for sure. Anticipate what could come up, right? So Lisa, when you think about negotiations, and you've been doing this for quite some time, but as a brand new person, let's pretend they don't know what they're doing, right? What golden piece of advice could you give them to help them in their business now when it comes to negotiations?
I think for our team, we have a list of everything that could come up and different ways that we could possibly negotiate a deal to get it done. But I think the primary thing is not only informing your buyers, but also talking to that listing agent and getting on the good side of them and telling them, oh, you just love the way they market their properties. I mean, do whatever you can to be positive and make them feel good. And then for sure your offer is definitely going to be towards the top.
That's awesome. What about you, Christine? What's your golden piece of advice for our audience?
Same thing. I mean, I love building relationships. So the one thing that I believe we don't, at least I see as a listing agent, no one asks me when they're presenting an offer, like, tell me about the seller's situation. Like, no one asks. They just make the offer and hope that it rises to the top, and there's no rapport. I don't know anything about their buyer. I don't know if they just met them on the street corner. Like, I know nothing. So when we present offers, we don't make it where it wavers, but they know that this is a past client. We know them for 20 years. This is not someone we just met.
Yeah.
We know how they articulate, and they go to the close. So it's just, again, it's all relationship building and connecting all the dots, like from the listing agent to everything in between.
Absolutely. And what about you, Heidi?
So I'm going to answer this from an agent-to-agent perspective. Sure. I literally tell the other agent, it is my mission, and I am super competitive, to be the best real estate transaction that you do all year, and that you look forward to doing another transaction with me. Would that be okay?
It's great.
I say that on the front end, and because I do want it to be the best transaction that they do all year, so that they are excited to work with us again.
That's lovely. You guys, I hope you learned something and took great notes. We'll see y'all later.
She's great.